Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. As you can tell, my throat is really screwed up. I have a big lump of I don't even know what in my throat. It's very swollen. I don't know what the hell is happening to my body. It is going insane. So, excuse me for the weirdness. So, we're going to work on doing the body for the girl in our mixed media. And I thought, since I had this green paper, that I would pull out the green that I have in here. Now, what I'm going to do is take a pair of scissors. And I know, let's do it this way. I want the end on the bottom so I can see how thick it is. And I'm going to kind of cut a little thicker. And I'm not worrying about this pink grunge inside because we're going to do her up. And I'm just going to cut this kind of like this with no particular shape, just to know where the ends are. This is going to be fun. And what's nice about having paper that you've made, whether you use a jelly plate or we do it on our own, which I have several pages that I've done on my own, and I've actually got requests to show how to do some pages without having to have a jelly plate and get the extra and get the layers. So that'll be a video coming up. So if you cannot afford a jelly plate, I'm going to show you how very simple to take either cardstock or watercolor paper or mixed media paper and make a, oh my god, my voice doesn't even sound the same, how to make really fantastic backgrounds and simulate the jelly plate. Okay, so we have our green here, and I know I want her to have a neck, and we can kind of, you know, straighten that out a little bit if we want. It's a little thicker than I want, but I'm not worrying about it because right now I'm going to lay down her dress, and I'm going to give it a fold, if you can see on the bottom, and a pinch. Fold and a pinch. It reminds me of Jerry Seinfeld, the Seinfeld episode. Anyway, and I'm going to cut it across. And I'm going to set that aside. Next, I'm going to line that up with the bottom and line it up with her neck. And we can see that her neck is kind of off. We want it to have a little bit more shape. Excuse me. So you can take a pencil. You can take your regular mechanical pencil or whatever pencil you have. And just kind of, we want to make sure that our neck right here kind of follows. And I'm going to hold this up so you can see this. Can you see how I drew it? I went from my neckline and I gave her a neck here, and I kind of went to this shoulder. And I'm going to do the same over here. It's hard to do while I'm holding up, but I'm going to do it. Okay, so you can see those lines, and then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut. Now, here's something I want to tell you, and it might not be 100% of the time, but it does happen. Now, I have done this before. I have turned my paper over and then cut. But what happens is sometimes you can be spot on and other times you won't, because the way the shoulders go, excuse me, or the way the hair goes, if you've already done your hair and everything. Okay? So it's better, you're better off to judge that way. And if you want this a little bit straighter around her neck, just move this down a little bit so you guys can see more. I'm a little off today. I don't know if you know. Okay, I just kind of want you guys to see. So I can see her neck's just a tad bit off, and it's going to bug me because I'm weird like that. And I'm just going to take that. I mean, this is literally how much I took off. I just think I'm like really OCD today because I have no control over many things today, and that is one thing I had control over. Does it matter? No. So we have our dress. Okay. Now, excuse me, you can do one of two things now. We can glue this on. We can fix the shape of this if we want it. And I see there's like a little bit right here. Or you can go in and do shapes if you want it to have a little, you know, like go in and cut, or if you have a thing that you can cut to make, you know, a little puncher, you know what I'm talking about. I don't really, you know, I try to do things as simplistic as possible. Now, if you want, you can add, we have her here, you can add some more here to go down on her arms. But I'm not going to worry about that. I think teaching this for the first time, let's not worry about her arms right now. We'll take care of them. So I'm going to take just a glue stick, and I'm going to turn my paper over. And remember, this was just cardstock. Cardstock is so cheap. And if you even need it cheaper, use a coupon. But they always have it on sale. And this is a pack that had white, this color gray that I'm using here, and beige. And I bought it, and because they were out of white, and I use it just the same. So line up your neck with your hair. Line up your bottom. And if you don't get it straight to the bottom like I have it, remember, we're going to edge this with some color. So it doesn't have to be perfect, because you're I love, and I don't know who said it. Sorry, somebody had said, and I don't recall where I heard it or read it or whatever, but if you want perfection, go to the store and buy a painting that's been reproduced. Now I'm just going to rub. I have some glue on here, and if you rub it, it'll take the glue off, and you're not worrying about the paint too much. But I'm pushing down with my finger here, just so it gets a good connection. And then I'm just going to always remember to put your lid on your glue, because if you knew how many glue things I had that I left my lids off, you would say, she's crazy, she leaves her lid off. Now can you see why I picked this color that is still sticky right here? Oh no, that's sticky on my finger. See, that's how wacko I am today. Can you see why I picked this color? It's going to pick up. It's really popping, and we're going to make it pop more. And this I'm not worried about, because we're going to do a little bit of something on here. I don't know yet, but we have this on. And you have a few minutes with a glue stick to kind of, you know, move it around a little bit. No, it's not a big deal. I'm really happy with this. I just go, like I said, and I just push it down. And when we get to the end, you know, if you see a little piece popping up that maybe you didn't get glue on, you know, I do suggest always going to the middle and pushing out like this on both sides. And what that does is, if you get an excess of glue in the middle, which sometimes I do, that will help press that out to the end and to the bottoms, so it's kind of even. And if you don't want to use your hands, I have RA and Fibro, and I know that a lot of you do, then just use your, let me find it. Just use your old credit card, and it works just as well. And let me just grab a drink real quick. I'm sorry. So can you see? See how we have now. Now we can do one of two things now with her arms. If we want her to have arms that are sticking out from her body, we can continue on with these. If we want her to be holding something, which I do a lot, because usually I won't add arms, I'll have the arms come from the shoulders and in, and having her hold something, we can do that. But right now, I'm going to leave this dry, and we're going to go on to her face. And I'm going to move my camera down a little bit, because I want to concentrate on the face. Just bear with me here, please. And if my camera falls, I apologize. Okay. All right. So we have our eyes and everything drawn in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do green. And as always, as I say, let's see that one first. I go light to dark. Most of the time when I paint, I go light to dark. So I'm choosing a light green. This is called Brilliant Yellow Green. And whatever brand, whatever colors you have, you know, if you want to do green, blue, brown, pick 3 different shades if you have it. And with brown and green, you always can go with a gold. And I'll show you that. But let's just I wet my brush. I always go out of the lid because I'm doing small things. It's a smaller brush. It's a 5/0. What I do is I buy Donna Dewberry's, they're called one stroke brushes. I'll use my coupon, and they have every size. You get a fan brush and everything. So if I want to get new brushes all the way around. Otherwise, I just go pick one brush that I need. So I'm going to go in my eye, and you can see I drew, and honestly, right now, I can't remember what I drew with, but I'm going to go in and erase very lightly. And I do this in a lot of my paintings, and you will see me do this. So the graphite doesn't smear, but I can still see where I need it at. Okay. And I'm going to go in with my light green, and I'm just going to go around. And this can be, if you only have one color green, add some white to it and lighten it up. That works just as well. You don't have to have 20 colors. Take your green, add a little bit of white to it, lighten it up, and you're going to get the same effect. And just go on with one coat lightly, and then go on to your other eye. I'm very heavy-handed when I paint. I don't know why. And I hope I'm not in your way with the light. And then just... And remember, you have that texture underneath, so don't get upset if you can just dab your finger if it smears a little bit, but we'll go over with the flush color again. It's not a big deal. I am trying to avoid the pupil, but I can always go over it if I want to, if I get green in it. It's not a big deal. You're just trying your best to do your best. And my best is, you know, I am not perfect, nor do I want to be, nor do I strive to be. I just like making art. And I'm going to go over here again and just hit it. So now I'm being obsessive because I got a little green out there, and I'm telling you not to be obsessive. Okay, so that's all the green we're going to do with the light green. That will not be all the green that we do, but that'll be the green that we have for now. Just going to rinse off my brush because I'll be using it again. And I'm going to lift this up so you can see. They're almost like neon. But we're going to go around and fix that. I'm just going to give it a second to dry. And I'm going to dry my brush off. I wet it, but I don't want anything to drip. Now I'm going to go in with a darker green, and it's whatever color green you have. Folk art, ceramic coat, whatever. Like right now I'm at a loss for brands. You know I love all the craft paints. I'm just going to take a little bit, and I'm just going to, and you still want that underneath, not wet, but blendable. I'm just going to kind of drag it in. I might even need a smaller paintbrush. Talk about being prepared, not me. Yeah, it's better. You just want it to blend. And don't worry if some of that light green comes up, because we can go dab that in at the end. We're just giving those eyes some depth. And you can even see it better when you look at it there. Yeah, this one's blending much better. Yeah, good. Okay, rinse my brushes off here. Rinse this, excuse my hand, I'm sorry. I'm going to bring this up. Can you see the outline? It's much different. It just kind of blends that in a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is either take a gold. In this case, I'm going to use green gold, but you can definitely just use a little bit of regular gold metallic paint. I wish this throat would stop. It's like it feels like I got something stuck in my throat and I can't swallow. Did you ever get like that? I mean, I've stuck my toothbrush, I've done everything and nothing is working. So I'm going to take my paintbrush, make sure it's dry. When you rinse your paintbrush, make sure the whole handle and thing is dry, even though you go to rinse it, because it will, it sometimes can leak, like run down, you don't realize. And I'm just going to put, this is a darker green, as you'll see. So like I said, if you don't have it, use your, just your regular gold. And if you want to leave it out altogether because you like the way the eye looks, then do that. So I'm going to have to go in a little bit more with the light, but I want when the light hits this, when it's done, that you can still see this green gold. Okay. I'll hold it up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it dry. I'm not going to go in with the lighter green again until this is all dry. You can see here there's a little spot. where it might have lifted a little bit. I'm not really going to be too concerned with that because I am going to go over with the lighter green just to give it highlights. So I'm good with that. Now, what I want to do is get a color. First, I'm going to get a darker, I'm going to get my light flesh color. And this is the second. Remember, we have Santa's Flesh from Ceramicoat. And it doesn't matter. If you look, you can see the 3 shades. How they differ. This one being the lightest, this one being the middle, this being the darkest. So I'm going to take Light Flesh, which is the medium one. I'm going to give it a shake. I'm going to pop open the lid. And as I always say, I just take a little bit from when I shake it. And I'm going to go around this neck area where I had drawn with the colored pencil, and I'm not digging on it. So I'm going to just take it off. And I'm not going to worry about it. And the lips I'm kind of not really digging, but I think I'm going to let them be for now. And her nose I'm not digging. But, see, I'm not digging those lips. I'm going to go over it again with the medium color, again, the light flesh. This is what happens. Sometimes, you know, you take a few days to look at something, and it doesn't have to be a drawing of a person. It can be anything that you do. And I'm just going to, I probably should have gessoed this first. Let's see how this covers this, though. I'm just going in. And I'm going over that nose that I can't stand. I've been staring at it, and I'm like, I don't like it. So let's take it off. You know me, I'm not afraid of showing you, hey, I don't like this, or hey, I screwed up, or hey, if this happens, because I think we all, no matter how well you edit, make mistakes. And I think if you don't show that to people, I mean, it's wonderful if you can edit and you can edit out all your mistakes, and I can be absolutely perfect on here. But I think for people who, not everybody, but I think a lot of people who give classes, and people pay a lot of money for these classes, and they go and they watch these videos, and then theirs don't look like the person's, don't realize that could be their 5th take of doing it, or that could be them editing out them screwing up or changing something. I think to each their own. I respect everybody and their choices and their opinions that they do, but I think it's very detrimental to people who are new out there, who want to try something new. I am by far not the best artist in the world. You all know I suffer from many chronic illnesses that inhibit my hands and body to function sometimes at all. But I don't give up. I do the best that I can. And, you know, I make mistakes. So that's why I like showing you guys, you know, like, okay, I looked at this and said, I'm not digging the nose in the mouth. So let's start again. And you just clean it up. And like I said, to each their own. I think, you know, we all have something to offer each other. And this is my offer, and this is my offering. And I'm not going to sit and edit and bullcrap you into thinking, oh, look, just do this, this, and this, and it's beautiful. Look, I screw up. Y'all, whoever's, all you guys who are sub to me, and I'm so very blessed, know that I am by far not perfect, and I do screw up, believe it or not. So let's work on these arms. So I'm going to take a pencil, and I can see here, and I'm going to point. You can see that I have my shoulder going here, and the rest of my shoulder where the shoulder would start is covered by my hair. So you just kind of want your arm to go down here. And this really isn't off too much, but I am going to take my pencil and I'm going to curve her arm in. Because if you guys are following along or wanting to do something like this, this could just be that her arms are behind her back. And I will show this to you closer in a moment. And I'm going to do the same here. I see her hair's doing that. And we have her arm. She has a little... And I see that I'm going to have to... Her arms are about the same. I'm going to add a little bit of width. Okay, so, and it doesn't matter if they don't match up. You see, like, oh, one's a little thicker than the other or whatever. It doesn't matter because, you know, when you stand in different stances or whatever. But this is how we're going to fix this up. Okay, can you see? So you see my pencil markings. So you can see outside this pencil marking right here, I have some skin tone. Let's get in there. Can you see it? So I'm going to go in there with probably this color right here that I did on here. If I can remember the color. I think it's this color. Was it Clitical Magenta or was it alizarin crimson? It might be alizarin crimson. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to pick one that I think is, this is Basics from Liquitex. I'm going to take my small brush, a little bit of paint on it, and I'm just going to paint outside those pencil lines. Because we're going to erase those pencil lines, remember, but we're going to follow them for a second. You're going to see what we're going to do. And just a little bit over here. Sorry about my dog. It seems like a common theme lately, doesn't it? Alright, I'm just going to touch some up there. Alright, I'm going to put my brush in my water and rinse it off. And then what I'm going to do is take my paper towel that I've been dabbing on. It's a little bit wet. I'm just going to put my finger in it like this. And I'm just going to touch around. And all that's going to do is give a little bit of texture. And I'm not worried. If you're worried, I wet my finger and just wipe off the skin part if it goes in there. But we're going to go over that with paint, so it's not a big deal. And we're going to do the same over here, where it's just that little bit of shadowing. Plus, we're going to go and outline this, the arms and the body after. But this is just to add a little bit of that you know, a little bit of the color, just so we can see kind of where we're at. If that makes sense. I can't think straight today. Let me turn it this way. So you see how that, just a little bit. Now we're going to take our color, which we, I believe, used, I think we used Portrait Light for this too. Light Flush or Portrait Light? Yeah. Light Flush from Folk Art. And I'm going to take my paintbrush. I might want a thicker one though. That's the one I didn't clean the resin off of, which is always an ideal and beautiful thing. And there goes my paint. Isn't it fun to watch me? Oh my god, I'm going to strangle my dog. So I'm just going to take, I'm going to wet my brush, because you always want your brush wet, but then dry it off. I'm just going to take some of my paint, and I'm going to go into the arm area. Stay away from your shirt that you glued on, and stay away from the ink, the pencil, and just go in. And throw another coat on there, just touch it up the best that you can. because at the end of the day, it's not going to really matter. You just want it to be a little bit more prominent. And then go into this. And remember, we have all that wonderful texture underneath these. This is just to make them stick out a little bit longer. I mean, a little bit brighter. Oh my God, my dog. Maybe somebody's here. And then this is going to get a second coat right here, just to make sure that's covered up from when we go in. And if you want to do another coat on the face while you're at it, if you feel that you need to, go ahead. I kind of like some of the colors coming through the face, so I'm not really worried about it. Okay. So I'm at 30 minutes right now, and I think I'm going to stop and give this some time to dry. And then when we come back, because now we added our dress, we touched up our arms, we got our face, and then when I come back in the next video, I'm going to do the nose and the mouth and get the eyes, and we're going to just have a lot more fun. I just don't want to make this too long for you guys. So it's coming along really great. I'm really excited. Any questions, as always, leave below. If you found me and you are not subbed, please click my name under the video. It'll take you to my main YouTube page, and please subscribe to me. I have great giveaways, and I always take requests for jewelry making and clay and knitting and mixed media and painting and drawing and pretty much anything that you would want to see. If I can't do it, I'll tell you. And as always, be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. And I hope that you guys are doing this along with me and you get to this part. And I will see you in the next video so we can move on. Thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.